Hey guys, welcome back to Home Built, and in this episode I thought it's finally about time that Mrs. Jeff gets to drive the 911. Alright guys, so for those of you who've been wondering how this has been going, I've had this car now for a few weeks and I've actually done over 1,000 kilometers in it already, so I'm getting to know it, getting to know its quirks and little things that I need to improve, and bits that I really like, bits that I'm not as fond of. So I thought I'd just take you through a few of those things first off here. One thing that I was really surprised about as soon as I got into this car was how small it actually feels. I've seen them around a lot and they don't look too bad, particularly coming out of the S5. The S5 is a much bigger car. This feels like a really small, tight little car. Fantastic visibility. You can really see everything that's going on all the way around you, particularly even compared to the S5, which was not bad. But this has definitely got a lot of really clear vision all the way around, which I find a big plus. So this car does have a bit of a tendency to understeer. As I said, I haven't pushed it super hard, but just when I'm getting it near the edge, you can definitely feel the front is very light and it's floating around. Some of that might have more to do with the tyres. I'm not a huge fan of the Dunlop Sport Maxes that are currently on this car. They're not my choice of tyre, but that's what's on here for the time being. So until I change it, that's what I'm stuck with. The sound, the sound is fantastic. The Gundo hack on the exhaust / Vista mod. Doing some research, and somebody pointed out in the comments that there are actually two different mods. The most common one, I don't know which one's which, but I will show you through that in a future episode, talking about the exhaust mods and things like that they do on these cars. But it sounds great, particularly when you get it sort of above 5,000 RPM. It really wails, and you can really feel it sort of really get up and start moving, and it sounds good. That sound. So some of the niggly little issues that I had when I first got into this car, as my commute to work is 40 minutes on a freeway, one of the things I did notice that I wasn't a huge fan of was the squeaks and rattles in the dash of the car. I've actually been driving around with a can of silicone spray with a nozzle on it, and just as I'm going, I'm sort of reaching around the dash trying to nut out all the little squeaks and rattles, and I've pretty much got on top of it. One of the main contributing causes, I think, was that the tyres are old, so they might be slightly, not the most balanced. I did go and get the wheels balanced because that seemed to be a bigger issue, particularly when I first started driving it and got up to speed. Anything up around 100 kilometers an hour, it would start sort of vibrating, and that was an issue. But another issue, which I think is also contributing, is that it has a sort of clunk coming from the rear, which I'm pretty sure is bushings. I've got to get the car up in the air, but I can definitely hear things moving around. So the car's 21 years old with 148,000 kilometers on the clock. It's going to need some new bushings. I'm pretty much guaranteed they've never been done, so they're definitely going to be worn out. So it's another thing that I'm going to cover is going through and freshening it up. Other things I've noticed, the air conditioner makes a weird sort of groaning noise when I use the air conditioner, but it works. It's old, but it's quite analog. The steering feel is amazing. The gearbox is a little bit vague and sort of not the most sort of rifle bolt style gearbox I've had. The Cayman I had many years ago was much better. The Cayman had a fantastic gearbox. This gearbox is not the greatest. As I said, it's a little bit sloppy and vague. I don't know whether there's something I can do to tighten that up, and it could again be sort of worn bushings and stuff, but it works. It doesn't make any noises or anything that it shouldn't, but yeah, it's not the greatest. But overall, my time with it has been really good so far. But I think it's time to get Mrs. Jeff in it finally. She still hasn't driven it even after a couple of weeks. So I think it's time to get her in the car and just see what she thinks.
Oh, it's hot.
Right.
Do you need to sit further forward right now?
No, I think I'm okay.
Yep.
What do you mean, yeah?
Yeah, you're comfortable? Yeah, yeah.
It is quite heavy, isn't it? Like, I can feel
The clutch?
yeah.
It is quite a heavy clutch in this car.
But I don't mind that because it feels more solid.
I'm not sure why it's so heavy. Like, I've driven plenty of cars with more power that have got lighter clutches.
It's very easy to speed.
Do you like it? Do you not like it?
Yeah, I like it. It's I like its compactness. It's got a solid feel to it. Like I like that. Like it feels sturdy.
You can feel this is a well-built German car. Like it is a very solid.
Like this. You can feel it's a quality car. Like we can say quality is to the test of time.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it feels really good. I really like it. I like the Audi too, but I like this more because it just feels I mean, it's good dimensions. That's what I think it is. It's dimensions are good in this car for me.
The ergonomics.
Yeah. The ergonomics are good. I don't know if the dimensions would be as good if you were a really tall person, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I think these are not made for like really super tall people.
Yeah.
It's a little car, but it feels safe and it feels solid. But not solid like heavy, solid as in well constructed, safe.
And how are you finding it to drive? Easy to drive?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yep.
Yeah, really nice to drive. Easiest car we've had to drive.
Really?
Yeah, with the exception of the Audi.
I think the Audi had a much lighter clutch and was still quite easy to drive. It was a nice...
This one, I like the clutch. I like the heaviness of the clutch because you can sort of feel what you're doing better. The Audi was like flying kind of. It was really...
Very light.
It was really light and it was very easy to drive.
Yeah.
This one is a bit more, you sort of feel your mechanics a bit more what you're doing.
Yeah.
Ooh, she's got Christmas decorations. 120k.
Yeah. Because then the wing will go up.
Oh,
and I've got the yes, a bit of trial and error, but exactly 120 is the speed in which the wing comes up, because you can just see it in the mirror. You can see the top of it. And then at 60 k's an hour is when it drops back down again. Which I do like the fact you can see the wing, because in the Cayman you can never see it go up and down. Even in the mirrors or anything, you have no idea as a driver whether the wing is up or down. It's smoother to drive. The Cayman was a lot rougher to drive. Yes.
Yeah, like I know the Cayman had been modified and lowered and all that, but it was quite grunty.
So this has been lowered as well. This is probably a bit firmer than your average 911. But
I like the fact that it grips the road well, like the Cayman did.
Yeah.
Feels really, it's a really nice drive.
The steering is very direct. I don't know if you're feeling that. Like it's very, very precise.
Exactly. Everything just feels solid, well constructed and precise, which I like. I like that a lot. Is that what?
7,000 for it. All right. Well, you got your drive. What do you think?
Sure did. Yeah, I like it very much. It's comfortable to drive. It feels nice to drive. It's got a good sort of solid but precise feel to it. Yeah.
I think Mrs. Jeff is probably going to get to drive it a fair bit more than me moving forward, so
last words.
I probably won't get it back. That's it for this one. Make sure if you need any parts for any Porsche, whether it's an old 911, a new 911, a 944, a KM, whatever, make sure you check out PorschePartsByJeff.com. Compare all the prices there. We have specials all the time. It's well worth checking out. So check it out, guys, and
Hope it's useful.
okay,
Bye,
see you
guys.
guys.